MBA by force, not by choice. So under these circumstances, if someone from out of Pakistan comes in with a very honest intention and with a will and dedication that they want our kids to get to the, to maximize the potential or the abilities, as you said. So were your intentions being questioned at any point?
Not quite. When I looked at Pakistan, actually it all started when Dr. Ataur Rahman, who was your former education minister, was a speaker at Sri Lanka at one of our conferences. And when he showed what the government was doing and the potential, we thought, I mean, what is SEMA doing not going into Pakistan? Because they have talent. Because if you look at it, the need for the global talent, the biggest crisis in 2030 is going to be lack of talent.
Absolutely.
And then Pakistan has the attitude. I've been to university students in my country, been to in Nepal, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan. I can tell you without any bias, the kids I see here, the attitudes, the capabilities, the intellect is amazing.
Shall I get you another tea?
It also brings you a challenge.
Absolutely.
When you have such talented, capable kids coming out, not knowing what to do,
that's very dangerous.
You will have what we had in 1971 and 1982.
You hit it right on the head.
The conflicts today across the world, in my view, is because we have kids who can't match the opportunity.
Correct.
That is why frustration comes in and they revolt.
Correct.
So if you don't create opportunities as a nation, we will fail as a nation.
But then again a question comes in, the opportunity comes from within the system, within the organizations, within the government, within the state, or from Sri Lanka's perspective or from global perspective, is it the private sector that contributes to those abilities, to those opportunities? How does it match?
In a big way, in an open market or a kind of economies that you're all working in, private sector plays a big role. But you made a statement to say the state is not doing. State can't do it.
That's my point of view also.
Come out of it.
Absolutely.
So you can't expect your 500 people in parliament to determine the destiny of 200 million people.
They can't decide their own destiny, so that's okay.
So it's common. So we should never ever say government is right. Forget the government, because they've got certain things to look after. What's our part as educationists, as adults, as university graduate students? We've got something to do. So we need to take that mindset instead of blaming somebody. You have not given me a job. See, in our country, education is free. Food for certain class is free. Medication is free. So that is all the government can do.
In our country, it's also free. I mean, for education, we say free, then he'll translate it. Padna hai to padh, nahi padna to na padh. I mean, you want to read, study, you won't study, you don't want to study. But okay, then you come to Pakistan. Dr. Ataur Rahman's speech was pretty impressive and got you come in. And I still remember from our old regime, there was a serious amount of investments, foreign participations coming into Pakistan. Then how did you find the right team, the right resource, and what prompted these guys looking at your passion? Oh, come on, if somebody from outside can do it, we should also. How did the team build it?
SEMA has been known since about 1999. It has been, so all what we have to say is the importance of it, the transformation of ability to capability, the need to become globally competitive. Otherwise, you will have failed. So this is what we have been saying, and we have been growing at a good rate. We are getting about 1,000 students a year, which is great. But overall, the challenges kids will have, I'm unemployed with BBA, and I'm unemployed with that, this and the other, is a situation that is caused by investment not coming in. We had the same situation, unemployment is reading, but you got lots of talent that is coming on. Because of the political biasness from the West and other countries, it can't even go out. I mean, that is also getting restricted. But trust me, the world will pick them up.
That's very well said. I've been asked to take a break, Faraz. Faraz has mentioned a very important thing. You need to take your child to a tree and tell him this is your friend. If I do that to my daughter, she's going to come and say, Mama, Daddy's gone crazy. Shorty, we break. See you at the end of the break. Stay with us. Welcome back after the break. This is a tree, this is your friend. It rains, this is the sun, it gives you heat. This is the moon. No, don't look at the moon. Well, I don't want to get there. So you came into Pakistan and then you formed a team, which is very important. And finding the best resource, you're very lucky if you do that. selection of schools and selection of the right resource. As you said, in Sri Lanka, that wasn't the challenge. You have every sect, every class. See, in Pakistan, when we do a campaign, we're getting calls from people. Oh, you make sure that you come to this school, or you make sure this. Did this happen to you, or you had all across the board, and you? How did the selection?
No, see, professional education was not new. I said, I mean, qualifications like chartered, cost of management accountants, ACC, they're all there. So there are colleges that were anyway teaching. Okay. So all what we did was we looked at the colleges that had the capability of teaching SIM. I said, would you like to add on our product yourself? So that's how it started. So it's good that there's a variety, there's a better option for our kids to study. So that's on the other side. But we thought, as a feeder, do we want to talk about, of course there is a bit of marketing intention as well, create awareness about SEMA to the kids, and say this is also another one. That's why we brought in Spellmaster. So I'll share about our experiences, some of the moments of truth that I experienced when we originally started. 2-3 experiences I'll share with you. There was this kid from the north, he was up there, and the word was thrown at him, and he said, please repeat, and the pronouncer repeated the word. Normally they would say, would you like to break it up into syllables, would you say what's the origin, can you put it on a sentence? And this guy said, in which page of the dictionary is this word from? And the judge, sorry, in which page? See, I don't know whether you know how many pages are there in the dictionary. And this guy said, which page? And they all looked at each other, and they went to the book and said, it's on page 797. Okay, he started spelling.
Wow, he had a photographic memory.
14 years.
MashaAllah, wow.
Right, and the second experience I had is when the word was thrown, looked at it, said, can you say that again, please? Repeated, that's not in the dictionary. And he was right.
Wow.
And he was right. Because we were using a later CD of the Oxford Dictionary, and he said it's not there in the 2010 version of your book. It happened last year. And they in fact went to the book.
They couldn't find it.
And it was not there.
Wow.
Now, tell me, would you ever imagine a 14-year-old, somebody throws a word at him and say, whether it is there in the dictionary, you and I will be very safe to say, I'm sure probably it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this boy said, it's not there.
That's too much for a 14-year-old kid.
Amazing. And then the final round, we have what is called a shootout.
Yeah.
Right? So you're given 1 minute to spell 20 words.
Wow.
The minimum number is 5 letters, you can go out about 11 letters.
Okay.
And we ran out of words.
The guy was done.
He was done. He's waiting, the judges are looking at each other, and he won the award. He won. He spelled, we had 25 words, he spelled 19 out of 25. 3 of them he passed, 3 of them he missed. So you see, you got to decide whether I can do this or not. See, this is what it comes out. It's not just spelling. So, fraction of a second you got to say, no, I'm going to let it go. So your mind decides, I can do this. No, I can't do it. Let go. Take the next one. So how quickly they make that decision in front of an audience, live, that's what it brings.
Amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, when you look back, I said, oh my God, I thank you that photo I given an opportunity to do a thing like this, and that experience, I can relate it. It's amazing.
But now this really makes me, it worries me also. I tell you why. I've been involved in some, not an NGO exactly, but reforms related to damages created by the social media. Now everything is that it's just a palm away from you. Now people, and the kids especially, they don't refer to books anymore. They're losing the habit of reading. They're getting away, which for me is a sin, is a crime actually. Now the kind of mindset kids are developing, and I'm specifically referring to our kids here, to bringing them to the thought process of starting intellectually getting involved with a book, and that too with a dictionary. Because my daughter or my son has this thing which is like a calculator, which is a dictionary, and they'll put anything and they'll get anything, and then they have iPads and God knows what. So, do you think this is going to be a challenge, or you will, translate it into another opportunity With a refined form of spell master?
Spell master. I mean, it's as I said, just spelling is one. They need to go back to the book.
Yeah.
Right. So that discipline comes in, and when it comes to competition, I'll tell you, nobody competes like the Asians.
Wow, absolutely.
They will give it their all, regardless of their age.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what we want to bring about. See, the good point that you brought about is, you do a BBA. You won't believe, I'm a school wreck. I was suspended in my A-levels.
Welcome to the club, sir.
Right. So, but then at one point of time, you realize, why am I living on this earth? What is my value if I am the only person on this earth? Zero.
Yeah.
So your value comes from the others.
Correct.
So what is that you are doing? I mean, we never ask these questions. I used to ask the children in the universities, why are you in the university? Because in Sri Lanka, out of 500,000 people, only 20,000 goes to university, which is 4%.
Wow.
So I asked him, what about the 96% you have defeated? And come into university, don't engage in politics in university. Come study, create an opportunity for the 96% to lost to you.
Absolutely.
And what about their children? They have dreams, their parents have dreams.
Now, I have a very important question for both of you. Faraz, I'll ask your opinion first. But this is what Bradley said, that Asians, no one can compete us when it comes to global positioning. Now, in the West, they have these, when a kid is in the school, they have this psychological analysis, which they, from a very early age, they know what direction the kid is destined to go, whether he's an artist or a painter or a sports personality or whatever. And he or she is destined to that direction. On the contrary, we don't have that. At least we don't have that in Pakistan. I don't know about...
We shouldn't. I mean, my personal way, we shouldn't. You must, because no one could ever determine a mind of a child at the age of 10, 12. Not even at 20.
Okay.
Because your mind is so untapped, so resourceful, and such complicated piece of machine, if I may put it that way. You must let it take its own course. I mean, we say, prepare you for the future.
Okay.
Not to prepare a future. We can't.
Okay.
So we need to make you adaptable. We need to be able to be capable of changing course, flexible, adapt to systems, people, situations. That is what we need to teach our children, and that's what is happening outside. Instead of saying, okay, you are going to be this, so here it is. I would have been a doctor if that was the case. My mom from the age of 3 said, you're going to be doctor, you're going to be doctor, you're going to be doctor. Thank God I'm not one. Right? So it doesn't work that way. Sooner or later somebody will realize. My daughter, she's 13, and she said, would you mind if I become a cook? I said, wow, do you know chefs earn more than doctors? I said, go for it.
In Pakistan, they earn more than everybody else.
I said, just go for it.
Yeah.
She said, can I do fashion design? By all means, just go for it.
I
so I can't tell her to do
a fashion design cook. But anyways, for us, the most important thing now, what I need from you is a one-liner. I believe that we are survivors from our part of the world, and when we are in a system, we just fly. We're like the horse, Trojan, running in the... You've experienced the same in the West?
Well, I would say they really go with their inspiration.
Yeah.
Whatever they are inspired with, they go with that, regardless of outside factors. As I said, well, here we get motivated, we get the outside factors, and we see other people doing it, and then we start copying them instead of following the inspiration. So if you are connected or if you are inspired with something, that's what they do. And they just go with it.
So you're saying that they hear the inside voices.
They do.
We get
we get the outside.
I've been reading this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Is it really that really helps? What your subconscious?
Well, in NLP it does, yes. I mean, that's what we say, that if you're repeating something over and over again, it sets there.
So your message in the end, because it's just a 1 hour show, in the end, is any message for our youth who's...
I would really say that if you are in BBA or MBA or any field, just go on and do it. If you are in it, just don't leave it in the middle. Go on and do it, and then, or if you are thinking of joining something, just go with your inner
voice.
I would say inner voice.
So you've been only talking to MBA and BBA students. Next time you come, we'll send you to madrasas, we'll send you to the engineering university, we'll send you to the chartered accountant.
Why not? Yes, why
and
not?
I promise you, my friend, the level of frustration will be the same wherever you.
Exactly.
Bradley, Mr. Emerson, thank you very much for the fact that you've chosen Pakistan as your potential destination, and I promise you on behalf of, because I interact with our youth very often, that there is so much they have to give to the world. And I've run an office in Italy for 4 years with our engineering resource from Pakistan, and I can tell you they gave real tough competition to the Italians, and actually at times those guys got worried and said, listen, we don't want these guys because your guys finish the job 8 hours, they do it in 3 hours, and then they're sitting and doing nothing, and that worries my guys. So it's time for you guys to pack up and go back. But in the end, anything that you want to tell Pakistanis that you still believe they haven't.
Just one thing. I mean, see, it's a massively talented nation, and if you look back in your history, it's 64 years since you got your independence, and the first 32 years you were leading. Koreans came here to learn how to run corporates.
Malaysians, Koreans,
exactly.
UAE.
So you had. It is not that you don't have the capability of the Birlas and the Tatas, but they were taken away. It happened in Sri Lanka. They nationalized the enterprises, so they killed the entrepreneurs. So that's the policy area we have made.
Right.
You got to learn from that. Just one word I want to tell the youth, anyone who is watching this program. You would have sung your national anthem 100, 1,000 times. But I don't know whether there is any line, any word that skips a beat in your heart. When I listen to your national anthem, when I understand the meaning of it, there is one word that I thought is something that touched my heart. When you sing a national anthem, you say, Jane Istakbal. What does that mean? And what are you doing about it? That is what I want them to know. Every time you sing the national anthem next time, when you say Jane Istakbal, pause for a moment and ask, what is it that I can do to fulfill that line?
Well, you've said a beautiful thing, and see, the problem is, and I'll now finish the show with that, nations need heroes to get inspired. The problem we have in Pakistan is we don't let ourselves create a hero. Whenever we have a hero, whenever we get inspired. And the second thing you said about the Tatas or the Birlas or the Ambanis of the world, problem is a nation prospers by 4 things. One is their natural resource, second is their human resource, third is their capital, and fourth is the entrepreneurs. Look at the world growth. The major growth in the last 2 decades have come through the private small entrepreneurs, and they've changed, they revolutionized the world. Pakistan has a huge potential, but our geopolitical, social challenges are overwhelming. And I tell you what, Pakistanis as a nation are the best in the world. I'm not saying that I'm a Pakistani, I take pride in that. And I have seen them perform in financial sector, top of the line in the world, in medical sector, medicine all over the world, in engineering. You name a sector and they are. The only problem is Hello, Assalamu alaikum, welcome to yet another episode of Aaj Subah with Ali Salman. Khawateenozat, Saturday. Well, the weekend is here and I am pretty sure that most of you are getting ready for the New Year's. Pakistan का सबसे बड़ा problem जो मेरे लिए है वो ये है, which usually हमें अपना बड़ा फख्र है कि जी हमारे पास यूथ बहुत है और हमारी यूथ के ऊपर हमारी डिपेंडेंस बहुत है, रिलायबिलिटी बहुत है. हम जब बात करते हैं पाकिस्तान के फ्यूचर की, हमारे दिमाग में पहला जो ख्याल आता है, जो हम बात करते हैं, जी बस पाकिस्तान का जो मुस्तकबिल है वो सेफ हाथों में, बिकॉज हमारी यूथ जो है दे गोना टेक ओवर एंड दे गोना डू दिस एंड दे गोना डू दैट. द ओनली थिंग दैट वरीज मी इज, you know, imagine you've got a Ferrari, you come out of your house, you sit in your Ferrari and you have absolutely nowhere to go. आप क्या करेंगे? गाड़ी को स्क्रीच मारेंगे, यहाँ जाएंगे, वहाँ जाएंगे. Couple of minutes, you get bored, you come back, you park your car, you go up, and you have absolutely nothing to do. On the contrary, आपको ये पता है कि आपने घर से निकलना है, आपने एयरपोर्ट तक जाना है, you have absolutely no ride, आपके वो जेब में पैसे नहीं है. So what are you going to do? आप नीचे उतरेंगे, आप एयरपोर्ट की तरफ चलना शुरू कर देंगे. You know कहाँ आपकी मंजिल है, यू नो कहाँ आपकी डेस्टिनेशन है, एंड यू स्टार्ट मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दैट प्लेस. आप चलते जा रहे हैं, एंड आई टेल यू व्हाट, जब आपकी नीयत ठीक होती है, जब आपको पता होता है व्हाट योर डेस्टिनेशन इज, आपको रास्ते में लिफ्ट भी मिल जाएगी, आपको कोई रास्ते में पानी भी पिला देगा, आपको कोई राइड भी दे देगा, और यू विल इवेंचुअली गेट टू योर रियल डेस्टिनेशन. पाकिस्तान की यूथ का भी, एंड आई डू नॉट जस्ट ब्लेम देम, उसमें ओवरऑल पॉलिसी मेकिंग प्रॉब्ली प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. एट माई टाइम, यू नो, व्हेन एवरीबॉडी यूज्ड टू आस्क मी व्हेन आई वाज इन हाई स्कूल, तुम क्या करोगे बाद में, तुम्हारे प्रोफेशनल एट्रीब्यूट्स क्या है, तो मैं कहता था जी अब्बू कहते हैं बेटा इंजीनियर बन जा, अम्मी कहती हैं डॉक्टर बन जा, तो मैं बस सिर्फ बन गया. क्या बना ये तो टू वेरी ऑनेस्ट, एज ऑफ टुडे आई स्टिल एम लुकिंग फॉर अ डेस्टिनेशन, बट आई टेल यू व्हाट, विद द एग्रेशन एंड पैशन and the fire that I see in our youth, it is going to be one serious challenge that the stakeholders really have to look into and decide what they intend to do with this. दूसरा बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये, हम स्कूलों में चले जाते हैं, हम स्कूलों में पढ़ाई कर लेते हैं, मगर क्या हम पढ़े लिखे हैं, क्या हम एजुकेटेड हैं, हम जब दीन की बात करते हैं तो हम कहते हैं कुरान जो है वो फुरकान है. फुरकान इज एन एब्सोल्यूट डिफरेंस बिटवीन राइट एंड रॉन्ग. दिस इज टू डू लिस्ट एंड दिस इज नॉट टू डू लिस्ट. इसमें बीच में कहीं कोई चीज ओवरलैप नहीं करती है. इसी तरह एजुकेशन हमें शऊर देती है. एजुकेशन हमें बताती है कि जिंदगी गुजारने का राइट वे क्या है, राइट पाथ क्या है. हम पढ़े लिखे हैं या नहीं है, मगर मीडिया का एक बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, वो ये कि उन्होंने लोगों को शऊर दे दिया है. मगर बाज़ औक़ात ज्यादा नॉलेज भी है वो खतरनाक होती है. सोशल मीडिया उससे ज्यादा एक इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले कर रहा है. मगर सोशल मीडिया के जो डीमेरिट्स हैं और जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं वो भी सरफेस होना शुरू हो गए हैं. मैं हमेशा जब अपनी टेलीकॉम वाले दोस्तों से बात कर रहा होता हूँ, मेरा उनसे सिर्फ एक सवाल होता है, मुझे आज तक ये नहीं समझ आया कि रात 9 से लेके सुबह 6 बजे का जो फ्री पैकेज है ये किसके लिए है. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, प्लीज थिंक अबाउट दिस. सो टॉकिंग अबाउट एजुकेशन, क्या हम वाकई पढ़े लिखे हैं? क्या हमारे स्कूल हमें एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं? व्हेन वी गो टू स्कूल, पढ़ने के बाद, क्वालिफाई करने के बाद भी, एज ए केमिकल इंजीनियर टुडे व्हेन आई लुक बैक एंड समटाइम्स व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग टू माय डॉटर, और जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स केमिस्ट्री की बात हो रही होती है, तो समटाइम्स आई रियलाइज के रटिफिकेशन वाज डेफिनेटली नॉट द बेस्ट क्वालिफिकेशन. टॉकिंग अबाउट एजुकेशन, टॉकिंग अबाउट अवेयरनेस, टॉकिंग अबाउट लिटरेसी रेट, दुनिया का एक मुल्क है which is really excelled. We know them as a cricket playing nation. Thanks to cricket, it introduces foreign destinations to us. Sri Lanka. We talk about Sri Lanka. It's in fact the highest literacy rate in the world. And I'm honored today to have a representative from an institution, from an organization, CIMA, that we pronounce as CIMA, who is with us. और उन्होंने apart from the fact that they are into cost management and accounting and ट्रेनिंग एंड टीचिंग पीपल अबाउट अकाउंट्स, अबाउट फाइनेंस. हालांकि मेरी बीवी समझती है कि अकाउंट्स और फाइनेंस में उससे बेहतर कोई नहीं है. हर दुनिया की हर औरत का बेसिक राइट होता है ये, लेकिन वो उसी चीज को मैनेज कर सकती है जो हम उनको बताते हैं. तो एक समझदार जो हस्बैंड होता है, ही विल नेवर टेल व्हाट इज रियली अर्निंग. बट CIMAs, they took a stand and they realized as a CSR, as a corporate social responsibility, they initiated, they organized a program, and which was immediate success in Sri Lanka. और उनको from the bottom of my heart I like to thank them. They realized the significance and importance that a place like Pakistan can also benefit from that, and they brought in this program, this package called Spell Master into Pakistan. ये program क्या है, इसकी importance क्या है, हम इसके ऊपर बात करेंगे. So I have two guests with me today. One is the regional director from CIMA, which is a gentleman called Bradley Emerson, who's here. Bradley, thank you very much. Good morning to you. For taking time out and honoring us at Aaj News Network with your presence. Thank you very much for being with us. How are you today?
Good morning, Ali. Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be here, and I think it's a great partnership that we managed to put together with Aaj, something that we've been working for, you won't believe, for almost a year, to get the right partner, who would share the passion, then see it as a business.
Okay, we'll get to the finding the right partner. Finding the right life partner is also very important. Finding the right partner who share your passion and your work is also. The other guest we have is Faraz. Faraz, you are an NLP specialist. NLP stands for
Neuro Linguistic Programming.
That is in English. उर्दू में इसको क्या कहेंगे?
उर्दू में इसको यही कहते हैं.
NLP ही कहते हैं.
NLP ही कहते हैं, लेकिन इसको मैं थोड़ी सी और ऊपर बात कर देता हूँ कि it's all about. थोड़ा सा इसको इस तरह एक्सप्लेन करूँगा मैं कि न्यूरो एज आपका जो ब्रेन, आपकी जो न्यूरोलॉजिकल या जो थिंकिंग पार्ट है, देन लिंग्विस्टिक एज का जो हम अपने आप से लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, हम अपने आप को जो जस्टिफाई करते हैं कि ये चीज़ ठीक है, ये चीज़ गलत है, दैट्स लिंग्विस्टिक. एंड प्रोग्रामिंग इज द आउटकम, द जो फीडबैक या जो हमारी जो परफॉर्मेंस आ रही होती है, दैट्स द प्रोग्रामिंग पार्ट. तो न्यूरो लिंग्विस्टिक प्रोग्रामिंग एज बेसिकली हम जो चीज़ एक कैप्चर कर रहे हैं, फिर उसके ऊपर प्रोग्रामिंग कर रहे हैं, अपने फिल्टर्स के थ्रू उसको राइट और रॉन्ग खुद ही डिसाइड कर रहे हैं, और वो आउटसाइड फैक्टर उसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा अफेक्ट करते हैं कि क्या चीज़ें हैं जो हमें वो राइट और रॉन्ग को बता रही हैं.
अब हम उस पे आ रहे हैं. अब we will start with Bradley. For Bradley, the right partner. Before we get to the choice of finding the right partner, tell us more about what is actually Spellmaster and where did the idea originate from?
Spellmaster actually a competition of spelling English words.
Okay.
Right. It actually originated back home around 2008 in Sri Lanka. We started with the intention of creating the awareness of the language, because we know if you want to become global talent, you need to be able to converse, discuss, present in English.
Okay.
So Sri Lanka has been predominantly Colombo, capital centered education center, so we thought we need to take it out. So we ran this competition. It's based on very similar to what happens in the American spelling bee competition.
Okay.
Quite similar to the model, but we brought in more fun into it than the seriousness you would find in the American version of it. So we started off with the intention of creating English awareness. We started with 2,000 students. Last year we reached 10,000 students who are taking part in it.
What is Sri Lanka's total population, if I may?
We have about 22 million people.
22 million people. That's what Karachi has. Okay.
Exactly. So
perfect. But that's our national sports also, by the way. You know, population growth. So don't worry about it.
It's needed. I mean, you need to have people to fill in the talent. That's your strength. In fact, 50% plus is under 19 in Pakistan, which is a huge strength.
Absolutely.
But what do you do with it? Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
What do you do with it?
Yeah.
So, but when you look back, it was not just spelling.
Okay.
It brings out the confidence because you're going to compete with students from more high-profile schools, better dressed. There are kids who come out who doesn't have elastic in their socks.
Okay, so there is no class discrimination on that.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely not. See, we have found kids who have come back who compete with unironed clothes, with very high-profile kids from top schools, international colleges. There was a kid who didn't even have elastic on his socks when he went up on stage.
Wow.
Right? From the north. So we, regardless of your religion, what background, what your parent does, and most of the parents can't speak English, I'm telling you. Right? When the TV crew goes and talks to them, they just look around, so they speak in the local language. Okay. But the kid stands up there and spells.
Wow.
And so you build self-confidence, you begin to believe that you also can stand up and compete with anyone else. As you're not in any way deprived of skill. They need opportunity.
Okay.
Right? And what you have seen, out of the 10,000 who first sit, and then the 200 do come to the competition, and when they come to the top 4, you see the transformation on that kid.
I'm sure.
It's amazing. So it is not just about spelling now. Yeah. It's about building your image, your self-confidence, NPL, NLP, how you take something in, tell your brain how to react, control that. And then that's what comes out.
That happens in any competition. My question will still be the same, really, that how can just focusing upon right spellings can actually help you transform to that level? Because isn't it going to be more about your ability to present, to speak, to communicate than just simple spellings?
See, it talks about preparation.
Okay.
It talks about the will to win.
Okay.
It talks about not letting down your entire village.
Wow.
It comes to that.
Wow.
You see, when we come to the final, the whole village books a bus and comes to the studio.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So it really comes out to be accountable, to be proud of who you are, and deliver the expectations of your school, your colleagues, your teachers, your parents. It comes to such a level when you're in the top 4. Out of 10,000, you're on the top 4. This kid feels that I got to win.
I can only feel goosebumps. It only used to happen in Pakistan-India cricket match in Pakistan. But
so I'm telling you, I can share with more examples where I had goosebumps.
I'll let you wait for, hold your goosebumps for a second. We'll take a short break. We'll come back quickly after the break to find out what let Mr. Bradley have his goosebumps come up with. Choti si break. वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक पे जाने से पहले हम ब्रेडली से बात कर रहे थे. इन्होंने जिस पैशन के साथ बताया, इट्स लाइक अ बर्निंग फायर, स्पेशली जब यूथ के साथ कोई कंपटीशन की बात होती है, व्हेन यू रियली गेट देम एंगेज्ड, इट्स लाइक अ वोल्केनो, इट्स लाइक एन एवलांच. बट जब हम यूथ की बात करते हैं, फराज इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, और आप चूंकि यू आर ऑल्सो इन द वेस्ट नाउ, पाकिस्तान में जो सबसे बड़ा डिलेमा हमारे साथ है, जो मैंने इंट्रो में भी कहा, द चॉइस, सिलेक्शन एंड नोइंग द फैक्ट कि जो आपने चॉइस किया, यू एक्चुअली वांटेड दैट. इस पे जरा थोड़ा सा हमें प्लीज एजुकेट.
असल में थोड़ा सा कंपेयर में करना चाहूंगा यहाँ पे. जैसा अभी आपने कहा कि सबसे पहले तो एक चीज डिफाइन करनी है कि आपने करना क्या है.
करेक्ट.
हमारे यहाँ काफी फैक्टर्स जो है वो बीच में ये इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं कि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारी आ जाती है. सबसे पहले पेरेंट्स हैं, और फिर हमारा आउटसाइड फैक्टर है जिसके अंदर आप कहते हैं कि लोग क्या कहेंगे. सबसे पहले ये एक फैक्टर आता है. बाहर ये है कि okay आपने जिस तरह
I want you to say that in English because then I'll want Bradley's comments on what you are telling, because it's always good when we do comparative analysis on systems that prevail in a country.
Right. So in West what happens a lot is schooling is compulsory. You have to do the schooling, and then after that it's up to you that you want to do schooling, or I mean you want to go to the colleges or the universities, or you want to become a plumber.
Yeah.
You want to become a joiner,
which is a very respectable profession.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, see there, even the sweeper has got his own dignity.
Absolutely.
Has got his own way of living. If my neighbor is a sweeper or a street cleaner, I wouldn't really, be like a proud of myself. No, I'm a NLP practitioner and he's a sweeper. No, there's no classes.
And Bradley, in Pakistan, when you're top-rated actor, they'll come and say, oh, you are a very good actor, but what do you do otherwise than this? So that's the compass, sorry.
Exactly. So I think this is one of the factors as well, that people are so much conscious of their own beliefs that if I am not a BBA or if I am not an MBA, what am I going to do in my life? Even after an MBA, he's doing
nothing. Actually,
nothing. He's doing nothing. So, but when I went to one of the colleges just now to do some public speaking, most of the students came to me and they, sir, we really don't know what to do after BBA or MBA.
Absolutely.
So there was no clue after what they want to do after the MBA.
But did you actually ask them, why did you then come into
Exactly,
MBA?
that's why that was my second question, that why did you come into MBA? Or, sir, we didn't get admission anywhere else.
Wow.
So if you're not getting admission anywhere else, what you're doing is you're coming to BBA or MBA, so there's no passion, there's no inner connection. And what I told them, that you have to get a niche, you have to get an inner connection, that what you want to do basically. So abroad, why they are so far away or why they are
ahead
so
of us,
exactly, that they don't really compare themselves to nobody. If you want to become a painter, you will become a painter regardless of any factors, or
I think the system directs you to
exactly. Yes. So this is one of the basic differences. Now, one thing here is we've got family systems. So if you are a painter, you can't really afford to run your house just by doing painting. So you have to earn money to support your parents. You got sisters, unki shaadi वगैरह है, then you got your brothers, जिसकी maybe you have to pay the fee or stuff. Over there it's totally different. Everyone is independent.
Absolutely.
So I think that difference, you can't really compare these differences.
So are you trying to actually advocate these systems or the family values?
No, I'm not advocating anything. I'm only giving the differences, that these are the differences. But
but you're making me think that a talent would just be wasted in Pakistan by that.
If this thing keeps on going, that yes, it will. Yes, it will.
On a comparative note from your side, see, these are the challenges that exist in Indo-Pak subcontinent substantially. The family values, the family cultures. When you're raising families together, then your children are dependent. Your parents, inter-family dependence prevails a lot. In these situations and circumstances, you don't, or do you really have these kind of families?
Very similar. See, we had a 30-year conflict.
Yeah.
We had a 30-year conflict. We had a seminar, just some wisdom. We did this seminar about a year before the war was over, and the theme of the seminar was, is Sri Lanka ready for peace?
Okay.
Because peace came overnight, and we were not ready.
Wow.
We are still not ready.
Well, Pakistan things also come overnight, and
exactly.
We're used to it.
In fact, we did a seminar in Pakistan this year in June. We didn't call it that way, because then they might think Seema is saying that there is no peace situation, but we said, is Pakistan performing to potential?
Fantastic. That was the bottom line of coming into Pakistan?
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow. There is a difference between ability and capability. See,
correct.
Obviously, the education gives you the ability, but professional qualification makes you capable.
Correct.
So when I talk to kids, I say, do you know the difference? So I give a simple example. 3 of us are able to run 100 meters.
Correct.
How many of us are capable of running it at 9.58 seconds?
Right now, looking at my health, you are one. You are the only one.
So, see, that's the difference. So what makes Usain Bolt run it at 9.8? Because of his commitment, his training.
Correct.
So that's what professional education brings in. So we got ability in this country. We got to transform it to capability.
Okay, now this forces me to ask you a question. That, you know, we always blame as Pakistanis that state doesn't do anything. State does not perform to our expectation. As Faraz just said, that the kids got in probably leadership, and I don't blame anybody for that. 64 years does not make a nation. First 32 years were good. Probably we had the vision and the passion was there. You see, the nations go through a sine club. We are probably going, we can't go below. We have to bounce back and come up. And thanks again to people like yourself, people who settled abroad, coming back, have the love and roots in Pakistan. People like yourself who still look at Pakistan with a vision. And I tell you, it's people like you who will help us change, because you are our unsung heroes and our unspoken our unofficial ambassadors who will go and pass on the right word. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish I had more time. And since you have a flight also, but I can tell you that it was an honor and pleasure having both of you here. And I still believe that trees are our friends. I hope my daughter start believing that. But thank you very much. Have a very good day. Thank you very much. अनिल आजाद, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. अपना ख्याल रखिएगा अपने पड़ोसियों का, क्योंकि मैं बाज नहीं आऊँगा, क्योंकि मैं बिजी हूँ इस वीकेंड. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.